Good day, everyone. My name is Kathleen Teresa Singh. Today, our group will present a review of the movie The Swimmers, released in 2022 and directed by Sally El Hosaini. So, this film is based on the true story of two Syrian sisters, Yusra Mardini and Sara Mardini, who were forced to flee their home during the Syrian civil war. The movie portrays their challenging journey from Damascus, Syria to Berlin, Germany, while pursuing their dream of becoming professional swimmers. This inspirational story highlights courage, determination, and the struggle faced by refugees seeking safety and a better life. Moving on with plot summary. The movie begins in Damascus where Yusra and Sarah live with their family and train in swimming under the guidance of their father. However, their lives change dramatically when war breaks out in Syria, making everyday life dangerous and unstable. As the conflict intensifies, the sisters and their cousin decided to leave their country and travel to Europe in search of safety and opportunities. Their journey is extremely difficult, involving long walks, dangerous crossing, and uncertainty. To continue with plot summary part 2, one of the most dramatic moments occurs when a small boat they are traveling in across the sea begins to malfunction. Because the boat is overloaded, Yusra and Sarah jump into the water and help push the boat towards safety, saving the life of the other passengers. After finally arriving in Germany, the sisters continue their swimming training despite the challenges of adapting to new environment. Eventually, Yustra's determination leads her to compete in the 2016 Summer Olympics as part of the refugee Olympic team, representing hope for refugees around the world.
Good day, madam. My name is Rachel, and I will be presenting on theme and character analysis. First, let's look at Yusra. Her journey is very linear. She's laser focused on one thing, the Olympic finish line. For her, swimming is more than a sport. It's her strongest link to who she was before the war destroyed her home. What's interesting is her athlete's ego. Her extreme focus acts as a mental shield protecting her from the trauma of the journey. By the end, we see a thematic shift. She stops using swimming just as a way to escape her reality and start using it as a foundation for her new life. Then we have Sarah, the empathic rebel. While Yusra looks at the finish line, Sarah looks at the people around her. She acts as the film's ethical compass. Sarah is the first to call out the emptiness of sports fame when she is confronted with the massive suffering of other refugees. Her journey is a critique of individualism. She decides that true heroism isn't about personal gold medals, it's about communal sport. This explains her real-life transition from athlete to a humanitarian activist. Finally, there's their father, Ezzat. He represents the weight of legacy. He's a complex character because he is the reason they survived. His strict discipline is what allowed them to endure that 3 hour swim in the Mediterranean. However, he also embodies the immigrant dream. There's this heavy pressure on the daughters to succeed, almost as if their achievements are the only way to restore the family's lost status. He shows us the mental stress of a child having to validate their parents' sacrifices to constant excellence. Now, I will be giving my personal comments on their acting and performance. The casting is what really grounds this film's heavy themes. It doesn't really feel like acting, it feels like witnessing a real family dynamic. First, we have to talk about Natalie and Mona Lisa. Because they are sisters in real life, that chemistry is effortless. You see it in the way they bicker, the way they protect each other, and especially in their shared silence. They don't need dialogue to show us their bond. Now, I would like to comment on their performance about physicality and intensity in this movie. The physical acting here is brutal. During the Aegean Sea crossing, you aren't just watching them swim. You can feel their exhaustion and the genuine terror in their expressions. They successfully transform from elite athletes into vulnerable human beings fighting for their lives. Whereas the other part, about the emotional range, Natalie plays Yusra with the steel eyed focus. She builds a mental wall to survive. In contrast, Manal plays Sarah with a growing sense of disillusionment. You can see the shift in her eyes as she moves from an athlete to someone who is carrying the weight of the world's tragedy. And my most awaited comment, I would like to comment on Ali Suleiman's presence in this film. Finally, Ali Suleiman's performance as the father, Ezzat, is incredibly nuanced. He could easily been a one-dimensional strict coach or tough dad, but Suleiman brings a layer of desperation. He shows us a man who has lost his status and is trying to reclaim his family's honor through his daughters. Overall, the ensemble cast ensures that while this is a sister story, it never feels isolated from the larger refugee crisis. The performance makes the stakes feel visceral and real.
In conclusion, The Swimmers is not only a story about sports or survival, but also about identity, dignity, and global inequality. The film represents two different responses to trauma through the characters of Yusra and Sara Mardini. Yusra focuses on achieving her Olympic dream and proves that being a refuge does not erase a person's talent, ambition, or worth. On the other hand, Sarah chooses to help others, showing that humanity and compassion are just as important as personal success. The film also highlights the issue of selective compassion, where refugees are often recognized only when they achieve something extraordinary. Therefore, the swimmers encourage extraordinary just to deserve safety, dignity, and a place in the world.